Hi everybody, welcome to Bello's. My name is Catherine, and today I thought I would pop on and make a few quick backgrounds that I could stash away for the new Lavinia stamp release that's coming up next week. Like many of you, I am super excited and so looking forward to working with some new sunflower stamps. So I thought I would just, like I said, pop on and make a few quick backgrounds. Now today I thought I would just go for it and start working just directly on my card blanks. So I have 6, planning to make 4 cards, just a couple extra in case I have any mishaps. I will be using the circle from Sticker Stencils number 5. All these stencils, I believe, are still available at Del Bello's as of me recording this video. I also have the Ivy stencil from Lavinia, and then I will be using the honeycomb stencil. In addition to that, I have pulled out pretty much almost my entire collection of Lisa Horton inks. So I'll be using Pumpkin Spice Shimmer, Sugar Candy, and Strawberry Sundae. On another card, we'll be using Pina Colada, Early Sunrise, Rusty Nails, and Golden Shimmer. On my third card, I'm planning to use Juicy Pineapple and Deep Ocean. And then finally, I'll be using Spiced Plum and Garden Sage. I love these two colors together. They remind me of my wedding, and my invitations had these colors and sunflowers that I hand stamped, so I'm really excited to work with those this summer as well. All right, let's get started. For my first card today, I'm going to start with my card blank and my honeycomb stencil. And we're going to work with Sugar Candy in the top right to the bottom left. And this whole background is going to go right through my stencil. So just start blending away. Now I'm going to switch that out for the Strawberry Sundae. Go right in the middle and up towards the edges. Now in a minute, I'm going to move into using some of this interference ink, and I've been kind of staying away from them because I haven't had a lot of success with them, but I think the blending brush really makes all the difference. And so previously I'd been using a tiny blending brush whenever I pulled these out. Today I decided to pull out this bigger brush, and I like the result that I got when I practiced a little bit with my blending before turning on my camera. So I'm going to come back in with this ink, just get that brush really well inked up, and let's just add some touches of shimmer to some different spots on this card. So I'm going to look to fill in lots of the whiter areas just so I get a good coverage. Now next week we'll be back to use our new stamps on these cards, so I can't wait to see what we'll be able to come up with using those. And we can always come back in and add some depth to the edge of our cards once we've finished stamping our images. And I'm pretty happy with the color I got there. What do you think of that? All right, let's move into another card. I'm going to keep the stencil and just swap out my ink colors. So let's move those out of the way. This time I'm going to come back in with my Golden Sun Shimmer, and I'm sure that either one of these shimmery oranges will work, so use whatever you have on hand. I'll be using Pina Colada, Early Sunrise, and Rusty Nails. And I think I'm going to start with the lighter color, which is usually how I work. Let me just wipe this off a little bit. Try not to get too much pink on there. All right, that looks good. Whoops, got a little wiggle there. All right, let's start with the Pina Colada. You could also use Juicy Pineapple if that's what you have in your collection. And I think, like before, we'll start in one corner. And maybe a little bit across the top. And then I'm going to move into the Early Sunrise. And I think I'm going to place that more towards the middle of my design. And let's add a little depth with the Rusty Nails. A little shift there. There we go. So I think I'm going to use that mostly in my white spaces, and then maybe I will come around on the edges of my card. We'll come back to that one. Let's use the Golden Sun Shimmer. Here we go. This is a really nice ink pad. I haven't used it very much, so it's still very juicy. And I'm just going to give myself lots of reddish yellow shimmer here. Go like that. All right, let's do a little on the upper right corner. Okay, there we are. I'm happy with how that's looking. I think I am going to add a little touch of the Rusty Nails just around the edges, and then this background will be finished. There we go. There's background number 2 finished. So I really love the summer look of blue and yellow together. So for my third background, I'm going to use the blue and yellow with the ivy stencil, again directly to my card front. And I think I'm going to have it, I want it to look like the sun is shining down and then just some blue in the background. Again, on this card, I plan to use the sunflowers that are coming out in the new Lavinia release. Very excited for that. So let's start with the yellow. And again, just to change it up a little from the previous two, I'm going to start in the upper left-hand corner and just blend my yellow out. Move into the Devotion. This is a really bright summery blue. There we go, that looks sunflower ready. And let's move into our final card. For this one, I'm going to use a combination of the Garden Sage and the Spiced Plum. Okay, so for this card, I'm going to use my Circle Mask from the Sticker Stencils #5 collection. And I'm going to center that towards the top and leave the bottom for, I don't know what, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. All right, let's get that on there. All right, this doesn't come all the way to the edge, so we're going to be very careful about using our blending brushes in the center that we don't make a mess. And if we do, that's why we have extra card toppers. So I'm going to start with the Garden Sage. Now this is a darker color, so I'm going to blend it out a little bit on my mat just to help get that ink saturated on the end of my blending brush. So I'm going to start in the middle. Just lightly work my way around. We can pick up more ink. 2. All right, and then I'm going to switch it for the Spiced Plum to go around the outside. I'm just going to lightly blend it around the outside of that circle because I can come back in and add more. And let's just blend in the middle a little more. And you know, while I'm at it, I actually think I might take out my fan brush and add a little splatter. So I'll bring in my water. I don't want too much. All right, so I'll just lightly add it here. Let's dry it off with our paper towel. All right, and we won't be using these card toppers until next week, so we'll just let that air dry. All right, if you followed along with me today, you will have 4 cards ready for stamping with new stamps next week. I want to thank you for joining me today, and if you're not already a member of our Facebook groups, please consider joining us at Bello's Designs Lounge for all designs made using Lavinia stamps, or Bello's a la carte for all other stamp lines Bello's sells. See you soon.